Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about heavy metal detox today. So, I took some notes. I'm trying to keep myself on point here. So what I'm doing is a chlorella metal detox. I'm taking a teaspoon of the powder a day. You can get them in a capsule. I'm doing it in about 24 ounces of water. It's like a really dark green. And it is a green algae. I don't really like the taste, but it's not totally nauseating. So a lot of times I'll just have it in some tea in the morning or something. And I've been using turmeric with honey and pepper. It's an Ayurvedic recipe that I found online. And I added the black pepper because my naturopath, Dr. Davis, suggested doing that. I'm just talking about my research here. I do want to say that I'm not a physician, and so I'm not diagnosing or doing anything like that. I'm just saying I'm just following this for a detox. I'm feeling better, less brain fog. Sometimes I still get the brain fart when you're like, wait, it's right there. So, another reason that I did, but there's a PDF that I read last week about dosing with chlorella. They suggest a teaspoon a day, and then I just do a handful of cilantro about half an hour later. The chlorella, it binds to the heavy metals somehow because it's a chelator, and so I know you can get rid of some heavy metals when you do chelation. It's expensive. This is cheaper. I think this one was about 13 and a half bucks from a health food store that my husband's friends with somebody that owns one up in Rexburg. So a lot of times she'll send stuff. Sometimes we'll come in town to our other friend. We just kind of go back and forth. And so if any of you guys want a copy of that, just like PM me your email, because it's a PDF. I am not sure how to share it on here. Sorry. But maybe if someone can teach me, I can do so much, and then there's things that I just didn't learn, and I accept that. All right, so anyway, let's see. As far as knowing if you have heavy metal toxins, there's a lot of different different things. Brain fog is one. I know that there's a link to dementia and Alzheimer's with heavy metals. You can get it in food, water. We're being sprayed with airplanes that have been, like, people have followed behind the planes, and I've posted those also in the comments. I could post them in here as well, below the link once I get all this finished, that they've got like aluminum, barium, strontium, cadmium, mercury. We're breathing that stuff in our lungs and wonder why people are so sick. And then to top it off, we're being drugged by big pharma. And so, Dr. Bergman on YouTube has a really high success rate on helping people get their health back together. Just following his research, I've done it myself. And so we're really made to heal ourselves. I think our bodies really are. This is my opinion, like I said. I'm not stamping on FDA, Fraud and Deception Administration. So maybe because I reject their garbage, I think that it's evil. But then again, that's my opinion. So, but migraines is one of them. Also, if you have mineral deficiencies, it can cause migraines. So you'll want to get checked if you're not sure and you're really having issues. I'd get a hair analysis done. They do hair mineral and heavy metal analysis at evenbetternow.com. And they can let you know, hey, yeah, you do have this. There's a lot of autoimmune diseases that I've read about that have a lot of ties and links to heavy metals. the food we eat. I mean, it's being genetic engineering, yes, has been done for thousands of years, but that's with pollination, that's with splicing with different types of root systems. That's more of a natural way to do it. You know, that's okay. But when you're starting to do like DNA splicing and using, there's a bacteria in the ground that they use on corn that explodes bugs' guts. Okay, so that's an insecticide. Why do we want to put that in our bodies? Or if there's an herbicide like Roundup that's a natural antibiotic, as they say, well, our gut is made of plants. It's different types of things like, you know, you've got your yeast, other types of plant bacteria like that help us digest our food. If we don't have that stuff, we can't get the nutrition that we need, because they're able to break things down for us so that we can absorb the nutrients, certain minerals, certain vitamins and other nutrients we can't absorb like that. A lot of times people will get issues like Crohn's or different bowels or celiacs because there's so much glyphosate, and those little cilias, little hairs in your intestines are being worn down to where there's nothing. And how is food going to be able to get into those little pores in your intestines if they're swollen so tight that nothing can penetrate? I mean, you're basically starving to death. And those that have the metabolism to where their body wants to store it as fat, they get obese and they're still starving to death. I mean, I was very heavy when I was pregnant. I ended up with gestational diabetes. I was struggling with weight. I got up to 220 pounds for my frame. I'm 5'6". And, you know, I'm not body shaming anyone because I know I've been ultra thin. I've been heavy for my size. And it hurts. You know, your knees hurt, you ache, you're tired. You just feel like shit, you know, to be honest. You know, excuse me if you're offended. If you are, sorry. I just say it the way it is. But, you know, so we got to look at what we're eating. Our brains are made out of cholesterol. So a low cholesterol diet is only going to cause more problems. And then you're compounding it with heavy metals. So then why is there any surprise that there would be dementia or Alzheimer's? Coconut oil, I know there's studies on that feel free to look, read. Coconut oil has compounds in it that help with dementia. That's one thing my dad had my mom do when my grandma was alive. She had dementia. And there were times when I could actually have a conversation with grandma before she died. But we think about loved ones that we've lost from preventable diseases caused by malnutrition and poisoning. It's crazy. You know, Agenda 21, Codex Alimentarius, that's a lot of those things. There's so many weird names of all these things that have been out there. There's geoengineering right now with the planes flying around. If you actually watch them, they'll be gridding. I mean, they're literally turning around and coming back and turning around, and sometimes they have multiple ones. And, you know, our sky in the 90s, it was beautiful. It was deep blue, and it's not okay. It's really not okay. But if we're going to be quiet, that's consent. You know, silence is consent. Talk with your neighbors. Anyway, our cosmetics, a lot of lipsticks have lead in them. There's a lot of mascaras that have lead in them. There's companies that are out there, lotions, creams. Vaccines have heavy metals. They have aluminum. When you eat things that are bottled in aluminum or bottled in plastics, you're getting different things that are like different types of hormones, different types of toxins in our body that why put that in our bodies? And you know, you start to get really sick, and it's sad to see kids with cancer. And autism. Excuse me. There's so much information out there. I know if you have questions, I'll look it up. I'll find it again. I think part of the mistakes I've made is not taking good enough notes a lot. It's like I nerd out and I start watching different documentaries. I start reading medical journals and other things. And, it's really amazing what we've got out there. We've got technology that can heal. And like Dr. Chris Shade, he's another doctor you can look up. He has Quicksilver, I think is the company. He does like some CBD lines and other things that he does, different nanonutrients. But he's the one that did a lot of research on heavy metal detoxing. There's a doctor I think it's Dr. Rostenberg. Sometimes I say Rothenberg. I read an article and listened to some videos that he did a few years ago. And he talked about the MTHFR deficiency, which my kids have been tested for, and we found out that it causes a lot of issues with like anxiety and stress. And if we just use like our B vitamins, have some D3, but we want things that our body can methylate, and methylcobalamin is one of the best ones that I've been told you can methylate, and that I've found out from different research. From B12, B5 pantothenic acid is another good one to look up. That's one that I take. The B complex, I guess I should have just brought my stuff in here to show, but anyway, I take a B complex that's really good, but just read what's in it. Make sure that it's organic, of course, soy free, canola free. Canola oil is also called rapeseed or rapeseed oil. Those cause problems with your cardiovascular system. Somehow it makes the blood sticky, but there's research on that you could read about. Just knowing what we're putting in our bodies. So soy-free, canola-free, organic ingredients. And then, let's see, magnesium, of course, because you want to have a strong heart. Potassium, you do want to be careful. You can get too much potassium, and that can also cause problems. It can cause bradycardia or lowered heart issues in some areas. I'm trying to remember what study I read on that. But I was having some bradycardia issues again last week. That's one thing. I've got a mitral valve prolapse with regurgitation, and as I had rheumatic fever, I keep thinking I was around 23, 24, but I might have been, no, that would be right, because it was before I got married to Nathan. But, I mean, I'm just frustrated because I went to go get those medical records and they were destroyed. Just like all the medical records that my dad had, because he was in the military, and all the records that we had under him were destroyed. So I actually went to court. When was it? But I was trying to get disability just because I was really sick. And it was really hard. You know how you feel when you have autoimmune disease, and Addison's disease affects the kidneys, and at that time I had the stage 3 adrenal carcinoma, and so you can imagine how exhausted I was. And I'm so grateful for Dr. Bergman and his research, because following him has been such a lifesaver. Anyway, I'm just gonna be calm here. Alright, so chemicals, there's a lot of things. But back to digestion, you want to make sure that your digestion's good, because that's where your body makes melatonin. And there's a lot of articles out there, there's a lot of studies out there that, you know, good sleep starts with good digestion, starts with good body habits, good health habits. And it's hard. Sugar is in everything, and sugar lights up the brain like cocaine. It's so addictive. I know. I'm definitely addicted to sugar, but I have to avoid it like the plague. I do allow myself to have it. Like I said, this is honey. It's raw honey. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it because of what's in it. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know if you have any questions. Just comment below, post below. I'll put a bunch of these links back up in here. And so, but yeah, I'm hoping this answers some questions. I know there were some people that had questions about metal detoxing. I would do, like I said, just a basic detox. Before I would do that, do some research, talk to your doctor, make sure that it's going to be safe for you. Excuse me. Juicing's a really good way to do it. You want to make sure, of course, you've got organic produce, so you're not having any other toxins, heavy metals there. We can't avoid it altogether. It's impossible. But we can do our best to at least be as clean as we can and as high vibratory as we can. Eat as many fresh fruits and vegetables as you can. I really like how Thomas puts it together, you know, do smoothies as much as possible. The times when I don't have my boys, that's pretty much all I do, is I'm drinking smoothies all the time, and I feel good. I mean, I put chia and flaxseed in it. There's always, I'm always about halfway or so with spinach. I like to use a lot of pineapple just because I like the bromelain in it, because I have a lot of body pain. And then we do apples a lot just because I love apples, and I do it whole with the seeds in, because there's B17, and that's another thing that there's articles out there that it shows that it kills cancer. I can't say cure on anything, but it kills cancer. You know, cannabis oil kills cancer. Cannabis is a vegetable. I mean, why are we not growing it and juicing it? There's doctors in Grand Junction, Colorado, that are having people juice it, and they started out their patients with lupus, and they don't have it now. So we have some stupid laws that need to be changed. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm hoping that you can feel better, have faith. You can do it. I mean, shoot, if I can do it, you can do it. You guys take care.